Good morning, students. Welcome to your grammar lesson for the day. This is your notes page for the Step 7 packet. So if you could have your packet out and be ready to go, that would be great. If you do not have a Step 7 packet, I have put this in the materials section of your Jupiter Ed page. So if you look at the materials tab on the left, then look at the grammar folder. This is in there and you can print it out yourself. If you need me to print you out a copy, you need to email me as soon as possible so that I can have a printed copy outside of the school with your name on it for you to pick up. Okay, so let's begin. When we're talking about clauses, clauses are subjects and verbs together. And there are two types of clauses. We have always worked with independent clauses. Independent clauses have a subject and verb and they make sense standing alone. Okay? And then beyond that, we have what is called a subordinate clause or a dependent clause, and that is what we're working on now, is subordinate clauses. Subordinate clauses or dependent clauses cannot stand by themselves because we put a relative pronoun or a subordinating conjunction in the front of it that makes it dependent on another part that is an independent sentence. So if you'll look on your SAM sheet, I'm going to overlay my SAM sheet here. The SAM sheet, we have been looking in the last 2 weeks of school at the relative pronouns and the subordinating conjunctions that are at the back side of your SAM sheet. If you need a new SAM sheet at home, let me know and I can send you a PDF of it. But these relative pronouns and subordinating conjunctions are what will signal us to know that we have a subordinate or dependent clause, one that cannot stand alone. What will be in on the first lesson is a relative pronoun because relative pronouns work with adjective and noun clauses. Subordinate conjunctions introduce adverb clauses. So there is a difference there. There is one little caveat on relative pronouns, and that is this bottom section here. The words where, when, and why, they're actually adverbs that introduce an adjective clause, if that's not confusing enough. So we will talk about those a little bit more as we get into the lesson tomorrow. Okay, if you'll turn your map over, sorry, it's on my other sheet. The SAM sheet on the front on the map talks about clauses over here, and it talks about finding all of the clauses. Basically, we're going to find all subject-verb combinations and all of the conjunctions, those relative pronouns and subordinating conjunctions from the back page. And we're going to decide if something is able to be removed from the sentence and therefore it's an adjective or adverb clause, or if it has to remain in the sentence, then it is a noun clause. In other words, a whole group of words that almost looks like a complete thought sentence might be used as a subject or an object. So we're going to have to be careful in how we approach this, just like we did with phrases. Okay, so let's move on back to your packet here. In your Step 7 packet, let me zoom back out so you know where we are. Lesson notes for Step 7. We're going to first deal with the adjective clause, and that is the bottom half of the first page. It is a subordinate conjunction, a subordinate clause that acts as an adjective, so it's always going to follow a noun or a pronoun. Okay? It begins with a relative pronoun or with those adverbs when and where, and sometimes the word why. Okay? So for the examples, you have examples here, and I'm going to try to zoom it. I don't know what happened. Oh, I switched it. There we go. Sorry, I'm getting used to this using my phone thing. All right, I'm going to go down here so y'all can see. You have a couple examples here. The first one is, he read the book that I gave him. So when we mark up a sentence like this, we're going to mark our subjects and verbs as we would in any individual independent clause. But this one, he read the book, can stand by himself. The word that here we're going to circle because it's a conjunction, and we're going to do squiggles around this clause. This one is the dependent clause that's between the squiggles. Now, with an adjective clause, you're going to be able to take this out. So can I say the sentence without it? He read the book. Yes. Then we know that this is adjectival and it's supporting the word book. Okay? But now that we're circling the conjunction, we're not going to circle the word book. Okay? The second one, this is what we call an this is a relative pronoun, but it has a It has an understood that we've talked about before with understood you. So this time the pronoun is missing, but we still know that this side of it is dependent. Okay? It's not independent like this side. Okay? All right, an adjective clause usually modifies a noun or a pronoun and immediately precedes it. Therefore, an adjective clause will never be found at the beginning of the